Hi, welcome to another Roboflow training movie. In today's movie, I'm going to show you how to set category field values from a tab-delimited text. Suppose that you have a tab-delimited text file that contains information that needs to be added to categories. I created a two-column tab-delimited text file. First column is the category name or the category path. You can have both. And the second is the description I want to add to a field. Maybe it's a description, maybe you want to add an email address of a person responsible for that category, that group of records. This is how you can do it. I will drop the file here in a drop folder that I created, and actually I'm gonna copy paste it, or otherwise I'm losing it like that. And if I have Roboflow, did I do? I selected a hotfolder workflow, which is a workflow that looks into a folder and processes files that are dropped into that folder and afterwards deletes them. I've added a filter saying that I only accept files.txt with the extension .txt, and this is the folder I'm looking in. This is a placeholder I'm using to point to the application folder that I just showed you. So this is where Roboflow is installed, so that's where it is looking. The script is very simple, like you might have seen in previous examples of importing tab-delimited text or CSV from for importing information to records. You use this action store text file as a table, and you specify if it's a tab-delimited text file, a comma separated file, or a semicolon separated file. In this case, tab-delimited. You say unsorted. Because we're not going to search in the table for anything, we're just going to process row by row. You give it a name, and that's it. Then I'm opening the catalog. In this case, I'm using the sample catalog, and then I'm processing the rows of that particular table, this table that was imported, and I'm calling it a row. If I have a look here, I say, okay, from the variable row, store column number 1. The row is an array, which I'm taking the first element of, which is the category name. And then I'm also storing the second element of that row, which is the category description, which matches first column, and then this is the second column. Then I need to get the category. How can I get a category? Well, I'm storing the category from a path. And so I'm specifying which catalog, and then I'm saying, okay, my category resides under the $categories tab, and then you specify the category name. You have the option to say create category when missing, or fail and don't create it. In this first example, I'm going to create it. So I'm saying here's my category object by path. I give it a name. And then the next instruction is pretty straightforward. I'm setting the category field value of which category? Well, this one. If you look in the drop down, there it is. And the category description is the field I want to set it to. And then here I'm getting the category description. So that's your stored text object. Any stored text objects can be called by adding this. If you don't know where to find this syntax, just type a hash, wait a few moments, and then type a hash again. You will get a drop down with all the available variables from this script, and in this case it's the category name, the category description. You also have some of the placeholders that are sometimes used. You can find explanations about them in the help, but these are the most common ones. And so here we're going to use category description, so which means that it automatically puts it in here. And I'm saying, okay, I'm setting the category field value to that particular field, and I'm writing to the log that I am doing that. And then I close the catalog. So you will see in this catalog, the sample catalog, that I added a field called category description, which is at this point empty. Also notice that at this point this category doesn't have a subcategory, but that will change once we run the workflow. So I'm going to run the workflow now. So I'm saying start, and it's importing my tab-delimited text file. If I have a look in the log, I can see that it found a file. It processed 2 of them, you can see, but apparently in my script I forgot to add the name of that text it is adding and the variable, but that was just writing to the log. We can fix that very easily. Just going here to the right. This is just, I forgot to add here hash, and then it will tell me I want to add the category description. That's just to add that information to the log. That's all. If I now look in my category, first of all, if I look in the category itself, it nicely found the category and added it, but it also created a subcategory called with sub, because there was here in the first column on the second row a category defined my category with sub, so it created with sub here, and if we look at the information, it set the information that was defined in the tab-delimited text file. So this is how you can set, but maybe you don't want categories to be created when they don't exist, so we can run this again. So if I go to the information window and I empty this, we can change the script, and what we can do is we can go here in the process tables, and when we are storing the category, we are going to say that it needs to fail when the category is missing. And then in the next step, what I'm going to say is new conditional, and I'm going to say if the result exists. And okay, I'm going to test if the result exists. So I'm going to say, please tell me if that object, which was a category, you have to tell it what type of object you're looking for, and then you can say test if category exists. For the purpose of some readability in my comments, I add that there too. And in that case, if it exists, I'm going to cut these two and say here I'm going to paste. Only then I'm going to set the value, and then I can have also new conditional test else, and I'm going to say if the category does not exist, so here category does not exist, then I'm just going to write in the log that that category did not exist. So I'm copy this piece of instruction so that I can use it and modify it, and I can say category not found. And there we go. It's a C, and then I'm saying category not found. Just adding that to the comment makes it more readable. You can see that we now have a small modification to our script. And the basic or most important part of the change is fail if category is missing. So it's not going to store it if it's missing. And if I'm now going to execute that same thing here, then now I'm going to start the workflow again. And if we do show log, what do we see? First, it says, okay, category not found, $categories, my record. Yeah, so that subcategory did not exist. So you will see that it did also not create it in this case. It did find this one. So this one is perfect. The other one it didn't find, so it didn't assign, but it added an entry in the log. Or you could send an email to notify somebody, etc., etc. So this was a little training example for importing information into category fields. Thank you for joining the training, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.